Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 472. I'm Lucas, and I am joined tonight by Phil.
Howdy ho!
And we have a special guest, Catherine, as well, who made it to TFCon. So welcome. And we were supposed to have Paul, but apparently he is out to dinner or something. I don't know.
He's prioritizing food.
He's clogging his arteries with a plate full of barbecue right now.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with that, you know, when he just sends a plate full of ribs. So.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, he's trying to mess with Texas.
Well, yeah, you know, being from Kansas City myself, you know, if anyone says Texas barbecue is better, you know, those are fighting words where I come from. So, but anyway,
yeah, I'll slap you around over pizza and hot dogs.
yeah. I don't think I can beat out Chicago with that. So, but
so being that we are far away from California, we didn't make it out to TFCon this past weekend.
No, well, the two of us didn't, but Catherine did.
Right.
So
exactly.
It is a very different feel from the East Coast, or at least from Baltimore. And I guess I haven't been to any of the Eastern Midwest TFCons yet. Fix that with Chicago, but it's definitely a different feel. Very obviously different crowds.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do have an Orlando show, which they were supposed to have one before the pandemic and whatnot shut everything down in 2020. But I would expect that they're going to, you know, go back to Orlando at some point. So it'll be interesting to kind of compare. I think they've also had one in Charlotte, but that was a number of years ago.
So how would you say it was different?
Well, starting with the dealer's room, I mean, the biggest, most notable difference, of course, is the phenomenal number of guests. I think somebody said there were 51 guests, or somewhere in that ballpark. That's a huge chunk of space right there. They had to take shifts.
Wow.
Oh, see, I was curious about that, how they were going to do that, because did they have the actors and whatnot like in the main room? Did they have a separate room for the voice actors?
They were a part of the dealer's room, and the dealer's room was laid out reasonably similar to most other, to you know how you would normally think of it, with one of an entire long wall being just the autographs and the actors section.
And did they do any like actors out in the hallway as well, or?
No, they put all of the fan artists out in the hall. So none of the fan artists made it into the dealer's room this time.
Yeah, so
which really did make a big difference. I didn't think it would, but it was notable because when you get all of the fan artists together, that's a very different vibe. I mean, it became they were lined up outside of the main dealer's room, or the dealer's room, of course. So you couldn't get in there without walking past all of them, and it was amazing. The fan section has gotten so impressive over the years. Like fan goods or fan produced goods are like good now. Like nowadays, they don't feel like little like cheap pieces of like, oh great, it's a semi-okay sticker and some a notebook with just a picture on the cover. No, they're really good stuff now. The art is wildly varied, and it is it is a massive LGBT section too, because there is not a single one of those fan artists that doesn't have some kind of LGBT content out there. It's big, and it's very popular.
Right, and that's one of the things too, that a lot of the comics have focused on diversity and a lot of those types of themes as well. And so I think it's kind of a good mesh, with that. And then also with the cosplay as well, that there's a lot of different people cosplaying and whatnot as well. So
I think the diversity angle is really starting to show results long term for Hasbro, because the crowd, or the crowds you're getting attracted to those, I don't think would have fit previous traditional Transformer demographics.
Right. Well, and I think Prime, like Transformers Prime and Animated, both kind of ushered some of that in. And so I know that's I'm assuming that the guest list had some of those people as well, discussing some of that stuff. I know that they did a thing for Derek Wyatt, I think. Was that Friday night? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was Friday night. They did the Derek Wyatt tribute. And so, Catherine, did you get to go to that or any of the other panels?
The only two panels I went to was third party, of course, and the War for Cybertron panel, because that had the entire voice cast on stage.
Wow.
That was pretty impressive. And it was really nice to finally not be the only War for Cybertron fan in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other guy was there too. There were both of us. It was good. No, it was a good crowd. It had a good turnout.
How was the was there a lot of young fans there, kids there, or was it mainly adults, teenagers kind of deal?
It was a solid mix. It was a really good solid mix. A much heavier veering towards younger.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like, so I went to TFCon LA, what was that, 2019? I believe was the first time that they had it. And a lot of the people it was like their first Transformers convention they had went to, just because, BotCon in the past had been to West Coast before, but no one had really kind of been out that way. And so a lot of those fans from, the LA area had probably been to other comic conventions, but not to Transformers. So it's definitely like a completely different crowd, I feel like, than the Chicago, or I feel like Baltimore and Chicago both, that you get a lot of the same people at both shows, even though they're pretty far apart. But like LA, there's a few people that kind of go to both, but a lot of the people don't.
I almost didn't, and boy, I would have regretted not. This was a fantastic convention. And a shout out to Rick. He was great. Good hanging with him, spending some time with him.
I think he did a couple of the panels, or at least emceed them, I believe.
Yeah, he was hosting a
Yeah. So that's always good. And then he had some of his framed art, I think, as well, or did he not make that out? He did not
have his booth this time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A little far
for
for
him
him to travel.
Because last time he actually drove his stuff to Baltimore,
Yeah.
and he flew this time.
He had to get another suitcase while he was out here to be able to get his stuff back home.
That's always the hard thing. I know when I came out, I was having trouble fitting stuff back, because I brought a full-size suitcase that I checked, and then on the way back I'm like, well, this is going to be plenty of space, and then you're like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah, that space goes real quick. Even if you're getting rid of packaging, you run out of suitcase room fast.
Oh yeah.
I carried 100%. This guy in his box on the Baltimore, mass transit system, and as well as on the airplane, because I couldn't fit him in my suitcase.
I did notice something different at the during the at the first hour of the dealer's room when the premium members are let in. A lot of the vendors seemed a little more aggressive during that first hour. I think they were hoping to push some of their higher dollar items off on the premium ticket holders. But I didn't see any. I didn't see any of like too many of the like multiple thousands of dollar items.
No big Unicrons this time.
The Unicrons, yeah, but I mean none of the like no weird prototypes or anything like that.
Yeah. What when you say they were being aggressive, like what does that mean?
Like you were barely walking by, and they were like, "Hey, how can I help you? Look, come on over, check this out."
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Well, and that may be too just the like not as many people. Like at least with the premium ticket holders, I don't know. Like were there, how busy or how crowded was it compared to the Baltimore show?
Not quite as big, not quite as crowded as Baltimore, but definitely not a low turnout at all. Right. Yeah. And I think Baltimore had kind of an edge because it had other events going on in the area. We weren't competing with anything here.
Yeah, I feel like that Baltimore was like the first show, like the first TFCon in a while, and so people are just so hungry. I mean, it was so crazy. I know I was helping a couple other vendors there, and just the like you were just so busy, selling people stuff. Like people are just like, here, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, and it's like you almost couldn't ask people if they needed help with stuff because you were so busy selling things to people. If that makes sense, it was just so crazy. Like I've never seen it that crazy. So I don't know if LA that there's a little more things have died down a little bit, I guess, like to where it was like more normal TFCon than like crazy TFCon.
Yeah, it definitely felt a lot more normal.
People have had a few more months to actually like spend their money on other things versus TFCon was sort of probably the first. For me, it was the first trip I had taken, since the pandemic had started. I hadn't been out of town that whole entire time. So, yeah, I'm sure that was, pretty similar for a lot of folks versus now. Granted, we had the surge in December, but, folks have gotten to be outside and travel a little bit more. Spend their money on other things besides collectibles.
Yeah, the room didn't feel looted on Sunday this time.
Well, I think the other thing is that, and I guess Baltimore, the convention center is pretty big. I feel like in the past that some of the rooms that they had were, they almost had too many people and too many vendors for the room size. Like it was pretty packed. But like I feel like that Burbank Convention Center is a really good space, and it's a really pretty wide open space. And so even if you have a lot of people, sometimes it doesn't feel quite as crowded. But they did it when I went a few years ago. They did it a little bit differently, where the fan artists were in a completely different room, and then they like had guests that went all the way out into the hallway. I feel like the thing that's hard with that though is that it's like you almost kind of set things up as like the haves and haves nots kind of thing. So it's like, oh, like, why did you put me in the hallway? Like, am I not as important as, whoever else? So I actually think it probably works better if they just rotate through the voice acting guests. And then also a lot of the voice actors are local to LA, and so they can just kind of pop in and pop out too. So
having the artist alley where they did this time worked really well because it didn't feel like it was in a room where you had an option to go in or an option to avoid it. So people, you had to walk past there to get in, but it didn't feel forced.
And did they also have the IDW artists out in the hallway as well? So because I know that a few of them made it. Oh, were they inside the regular room? Okay.
The handful of artists, there were only a few.
Yeah.
But the official artists were all inside.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I think Casey made it. Collier. I think what was it? Livio. I think was there. I can't remember what other artists were.
Yes, Livio was. They put Livio in a corner. He was easy to avoid.
So, but
I'm sure he's a great artist. I just don't think he does well for Transformers.
He does good for pinups and covers.
So, but yeah, no, I know that he, people have varying opinions on his Transformers art. So,
So what was your favorite part of the weekend?
Oh, geez. There were a lot of really there were really no bad moments. It was just a solid, consistent, all around great time. I would say the only downside was the same thing with the first LA one or the previous LA one. California doesn't know how to do room parties. The first night there were none. The second night, most of the bulletin board was just filled with people posting their list of crap they wanted to sell with a phone number. There were 2 people that put up a room number, but they were both closed within the first hour after putting of their postings up. And then there was one room party. The one room party wasn't selling toys, but it was promoted as not safe for work. They were selling their fanzine, which I bought a copy of. Very good, very adult, and also some robot penises, but functional. They were very good dildos. They looked excellent quality. Definitely robot. So if that's your thing, that was an option this convention. Otherwise, no room parties.
I will say that I don't think I've seen that at a convention before. So there you go.
It's the same person. They also are the person that makes the really nice Tarn masks.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay.
So they do a lot of work in silicone. They were even giving away tiny free ones that glow in the dark. Well, I got a free one that glows in the dark, and it's going to look great in pictures later.
I could just picture like the group of us that hang out, like getting drunk and walking into that room and just giggling like little idiots.
I did make a mistake with Rick on that because Rick asked, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, we're about to go to this room party," and I sent him a pic of the flyer off the board because we hadn't gotten there yet. But I accidentally cut off the N for the not safe for work in the picture I sent him, so he just walked in thinking it was a normal party. Then saw the bed full of dicks and went, "Oh, okay, I guess that's what we're doing here."
Oh, that sounds glorious.
He rolled with it. Yeah, it was good.
I think I would have paid money to like see the expression on Rick's face as he walked in the room to that. Not that like he's like prudish or anything, but just like I think anyone like to just walk into that setting. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna see some Transformers. What do they got? Oh, it's a bed full of dildos." I mean, were they like was it like this is definitely a Starscream one, or this is definitely an Optimus Prime themed one, or was it just kind of generic robot metal?
They have one design, and
okay,
and that was it. It wasn't attributed to any particular robot, to my knowledge.
Gotcha.
The art in the fanzine though was very good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think since it's something that I don't know, I'm at least not used to at Transformers conventions. I think that'd just be a new one. So I think, after the initial shock wears off, the next convention you're kind of probably more used to it. But yeah, I mean, I think part of the thing with the parts parties for the rooms is a lot of the dealers, I feel like, are just kind of set up for that or used to that from the old BotCon days, like for Baltimore and Chicago. And so a lot of them just kind of like set up. So I don't know if maybe with LA that if some of the guys are flying out or whatever, and feel like you kind of have a difference between your, like your bigger guys like, Chosen Prime or whoever it may be that's out there, Toy Arena, or, the, other people that have booths. So
prices on things were pretty good overall. I mean, about what you'd expect to. So no surprises there.
What did you pick up?
I picked up a crap load of Beast Box because I felt that was something I wanted to get into. They're cute and fun. I don't think I gave any money to Hasbro this time. The only notable transforming figure I picked up was kind of on a whim. I didn't even know it was TFC Toys because it doesn't say it anywhere on their box. Lumitant.
Oh, okay.
I haven't transformed it yet, but it looks really nice. It feels very, very good. Really looking forward to this.
Is that one of the new sort of like Chinese line
Yes.
of? Okay, yeah. That's one third party company that I will say they're not doing Transformers like characters, but they're doing transforming things like that. And what I'll say is, to their credit, is they showed off a ton of prototypes in grayscale and in 3D renderings. And it's like everything that I saw them show off, they're actually producing, which is not always something that comes out with these new third-party companies. A lot of these third-party companies will come out, show off a bunch of stuff, they'll put out one toy, and then like fade into obscurity.
Yeah, they had Tyrant was there in display, and that thing is so hard to resist. It is beautiful.
Is that their tank?
That's the Megatron.
Megatron,
Looks like
okay.
the G.I. Joe crossover.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that the Destro's Dominator, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm only resisting it because I'm waiting for it in a recolor.
Yeah.
Just like
let
Monkey.
me see if I can find that, because I thought I saw that picture. Because these are some of the pictures of the dealer room, and I thought maybe not.
Chosen Prime was the only one that had it.
Yeah.
And they had their
here we
usual,
go.
Many display
Here it
cases
is.
with
All right, I got
tons
it.
of floor space.
All right, here's the picture. So does that come, I guess, with Laserbeak as well? That one of
The odd-looking big plane thing.
Yes.
It does
Is
come
that
with
Laserbeak?
that.
No, it's just sort of like a generic drone.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird. This toy, from what I've seen, looks to be a bit of a parts former.
I think it's likely going to be more like Monkey King, or their Commander version, this mold, that it has just tons of accessories, but they do all fit in some form or another and don't take away from the main core transformation.
Yeah, because I have the Optimus Prime that they did. I got the green camo one that looks like the G.I. Joe vehicle. Mm-hmm. And that one is, I'd say, more akin to Ultra Magnus, where you have the inner bots that transforms into like a kind of small version, and then it has there's a lot of like parts that then kind of become armor for it. So it's a cool toy, and I'll say what I've seen of that I want to say Destro, that Megatron, is it looks kind of similar to that. So it's like armor / parts former kind of thing is what they've done with both those toys. It looks like.
Yeah, it does look so good too.
Yeah. But that was even pricier than the Optimus Prime was, and unfortunately, when it went on pre-order, they didn't even have colored prototypes yet. So I passed on that both because of the price, and like I don't know what the finished product looks like.
They had it for $250.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's hefty.
I mean, I guess it's one of those things where the price of all the collectibles have went up, and so it's just trying to get used to, some of those higher prices nowadays.
I hate how comfortable I've become with some of these prices too. Like, all right, $200, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. It's a sliding scale here.
Yeah, I just got someone in this past weekend that was that price, and I'm not sure I feel he's worth it. I like him a lot, but I'll
Who'd you
save
get?
that for an oof.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to talk about some of the other dealer room stuff. Right now I'm showing off some of the Iron Factory bots.
Where are you
which I
sharing?
added. So on the video, I just have it pulled up from the TFW dealer room roundup post.
I'll just have to take your word for it. I'm not going to go looking around for trying to find it.
So
Yeah, if you pull up the YouTube, Catherine, you'll be able to see what Lucas is talking about.
So anyway, so it looks like they have their mini bots going. So they the Sea Spray. It looks like they have Sea Spray, Beachcomber, and Powerglide. Whatever their versions of it are, whatever they call it. So those all look really neat.
Yeah, Chosen Prime, they know how to display the stuff to sell it. I looked at my credit card receipt and I gave them so much money. Like every time I walked past, I bought something else.
Did you pick up any of the exclusives?
I picked up Arson for Anna, but none of the others.
Okay.
So I know one of the exclusives was Pyro, right? Whatever, I don't know, Fans Hobby, Arson, yes. So yes. I'm showing that right now. So that looked really neat, too. And I think that they're supposed to be putting that up. When was that, Phil, that they're...
I think tomorrow Chosen Prime is putting up their leftover stock.
They had a fair amount left.
Yeah.
But not too many. I mean, a lot of people bought it. I almost got it too. It looked really good. I just hated the vehicle mode colors.
Yeah, it's a box. Yeah, that's the one downside with that. That's probably my least favorite mold of the Headmaster Juniors that they've done.
But the robot mode looks nice though.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Make Toys had another Seeker, a purple Seeker from their Meteor mold.
Mm-hmm.
Did they actually have that there at the show? I guess they did. Huh. What do you know?
Yeah, that was available in the exclusive room. They had a couple of leftovers from Toronto as well.
I'm curious how. Oh, it looks like that they're actually going to have exclusives at the next couple shows as well. I'm curious what the quality, the QC was on that, because I know that the G2 Starscream was fine, but I know like people, it's been kind of hit or miss with some of the Make Toys Seekers.
Oh, that's interesting. What you just posted there, the 2022 releases there. That's cool.
That's kind of the funny thing of like not being at a convention. There's some things there that get revealed at a convention that you see better at home than you do when you're at the convention, because maybe there'll be a poster somewhere and you just don't happen to notice it when you walk by. And meanwhile, like Anna made a comment that like I was posting so much stuff because I was kind of glued to my phone on Saturday looking for updates, knowing that I was probably going to be on this episode, and because I wanted to see new stuff coming out.
Oh yeah, there's just so much to look at, and you just it's kind of hard to keep track of it all.
Oh, I'm kind of curious. Those Batman is a remold of, I think, Arrow Alpha from MMC. I'm curious if those are going to go up on Planet and Senator Ratbat. If those are going to go up on Planet Steel Express or not.
I don't know.
Yeah, the one I really wish I'd gotten was that Bulkhead they did a few years ago. I could have ordered it and I just passed it at the time and got a decent amount of regret about that. And that's a pretty pricey toy these days.
Oh, is it?
I feel like all of those exclusives, like if you don't get on it, like normally you should be able to find it right, around the convention. But if you don't get it then, like you're out of luck, like in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have that Bulkhead. That's why I'm not getting Legacy Bulkhead. But I did not see one on the floor, and there were a lot of MMC figures that just weren't there.
Yeah.
Like even the two really big DJD members, Tesseract and Helix.
Mm-hmm.
Crap. Which one is which?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't recall.
The one with the hole in his chest, a couple of people had, but nobody had the other guy.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I feel like that's
even that
definitely
one is
been
disappearing already, and that's not that old.
no, and that's a change from what third party used to be. Third party used to be like those toys would be in stock forever, and you just wait till something would go on sale. And in what the last couple of years, it's definitely shifted to things being, if you don't get it fairly soon, you cross your fingers that there'll be a re-release.
I gotta say I was disappointed at the third party panel though with what they're gonna do with Eris.
Oh, here, hold on. Let me flip back to that because I was still going through the.
Oh, can we pause on that picture you got up right there real quickly?
Yeah,
with this, the grayscale one.
Who is this?
So, I try to ask someone who was at the convention. They posted that picture on Facebook, or a similar picture to that. I forget the name of that company, but that appears to be a third-party company doing a G.I. Joe Transformer crossover. That looks to be, I think,
Okay.
Hound transforming into, I think, a G.I. Joe Stinger or G.I. Joe Vamp. I can't remember which is the name of that Jeep. And so, yeah, we're getting some third-party G.I. Joe crossovers, and it looks like it's supposed to fit a 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe figure.
Okay, well, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, it looks a little bit like Hound, a little bit like a, kind of a beachcomber, but not exactly. So, without the colors, it's kind of hard to tell, like, which one it is. But yeah, it looks like it fits a 3 3/4 figure.
So yeah, and I think they teased some other G.I. Joe Transformers crossover toys that they are maybe designing. So we'll see if that comes out. That would be pretty neat. I mean, it looks better than the Hiss tank, the Megatron Hiss tank.
Yeah. That the Hiss tank, like, I don't feel like looks horrible in vehicle mode, but yeah, the bots, it's.
That particular vendor also had some very, very tiny little transforming figures.
Oh, I think let me go back to that. Oh, so Ron is saying in the chat that it actually was not 3 3/4, that fits 2-inch figures.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, so what are these little tiny figures? Are they are these painted in, these are prototypes, or do they come like this where they're unpainted?
I think they're unpainted. I did not give them much attention, unfortunately. They were way too tiny for me, and they all needed to. I think they were all little ball joints, and needed to be assembled. Like. Yeah, that's them.
Yeah, it looks like neat little figures if you're into that scale. It's nice that they have a few different options if you're trying to assemble a crew that scales with some of the Titan figures.
Anna will be able to fill you in on details on one of these soon. She shopped for one of them by proxy.
Oh, there you go.
Anna did a lot of shopping by proxy at this convention.
Were you just walking around holding your phone up, so she could see?
No, but we were chatting often enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then
I feel that's dangerous.
Right, yeah. That would be rough, especially if you know her taste and you're sending pics to be like, oh, hey, what about this? What do you think of that? And then,
Oh, you did get a lot of pics from people.
Yeah, so this MMC Desaurus looks pretty good. It looks like that they're making some pretty good progress on that. I'll be really curious to see how it compares to the Planet X one.
I seeing it in person, I'm really disappointed by that beast mode. That is # not my space chicken.
Yeah, it just doesn't do much for me. I'll admit I was underwhelmed when I saw it. I feel like the further away we're getting from that IDW, series, the more and more of those they're getting, third tier characters, and I'm just not as enamored by it as I once was. So, yeah, I don't know if they need to go back and maybe do some of the main characters again, but it's like I said, underwhelming.
Planet X is still by far the superior Deathsaurus.
Yeah, and then it looks like MMC also had some more tape guys as well.
Yes, Rewind and Eject. They're all right.
The pics that I saw looked like maybe their chests were mistransformed.
Yeah, it's hard to say on that. I mean, they're still prototypes, so who knows if everything doesn't quite, fit like it should.
Yeah. See, I finally completed my tape collection this weekend. Got my last two that I've been looking for a long time. Oh, had to buy Billy and resell him just to get the tapes, but so I'm not in the market to upgrade to these MMC ones. They're they're too big for me.
All right, looks like that's all the show floor picks. So it looks like we should be able to flip over to the third-party panel. So you were saying third-party panel was a little bit underwhelming, which I feel like we say that every time.
They rushed it. It felt really rushed. Not much time was given for anything.
Mm-hmm. Which it doesn't seem like they had a ton of new reveals, so that seems weird that they would rush it.
Sounds like maybe they just had a slew of other panels they needed to fit in from the number of guests.
Potentially. So I don't know if we want to just go through some of the different ones or how we want to handle this. So it looks like usually at the beginning they kind of put a few of the newer guys to the game. So I know they have the Banana Force, which I believe are non-transforming figures.
Okay, I did miss the first 5 minutes or so of it. What is that Iacon Labs there stuff you're showing? Was that at the beginning of the panel that I missed?
Yeah, it looks like it was at the beginning of the panel.
I just assumed they opened up with Legends.
So they had a couple. So HTB Toys, which I think had shown off the Hound prototype that we talked about on the show floor, and they focus on some G.I. Joe stuff themselves. And it looks like they also had the nanobots, so those were on the show floor as well.
Yeah, and I was just mentioning that in the chat.
And let me see here. So yeah, so they it looks like they went through all of those HTB toys.
See, now you're filling me in on stuff from the convention.
So yeah, so the Iacon 3D Labs. And I don't know if it sounds like they're relatively new to the game. They were established in 2021. So I have not actually heard of them. I don't know. Have they released anything yet? Do we know of?
HTB toys?
No, I'm sorry. Iacon 3D Labs.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the screen and it's delayed.
Yeah.
I've heard of them before. They've mostly done 3D printed stuff online that you had to. I recall you had to pay them to download the schematics, I think. Or maybe they've upped their game.
Yeah, it's hard to tell on some of this stuff because, I know that there's a couple different ways, where you can buy things off of Shapeways and send it or get the schematics to 3D print yourself. But then they also have a fair amount of, especially people in China that do 3D printing that you can get through a couple different retailers. So I wasn't sure how these guys, did it.
I'm guessing MP scale.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from those pictures, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they have like a Ninja Turtle set that's available. And there is a King, King Grimlock set.
Iacon Labs was doing MP scale before, so I can't imagine this is smaller.
Okay, they were the ones that were showing off some of the stuff, like they have a throne for Grimlock and some Sharkticon stuff.
Some interesting stuff, though.
Oh, this is kind of fun. They have an acoustic wave, like little insert that you can do. That's kind of interesting. All right, now getting on to some of the third party. So Iron Factory, again, I think we saw this from the dealer room pick that they have the Sea Spray, which looks really good. The only thing that's kind of weird with these is they're like normal Iron Factory scale and not mini bots, which just seems odd to me, but
this is Legend scale, and Anna's not here, so we can skip it.
Right. Another Seeker, which they have 1 million of the Seekers, which it's a really good mold, though. It looks like they have a Sandstorm. Then they have a Drift, which is the movie Drift, I should say. And then looks like they've got... try and put up some of the comics here. I'm blanking on the name for this guy. Phil, can you help me out?
I'm not sure which one you paused on because I'm seeing it on my phone, which is a few minutes behind you there.
Deadlock?
Deadlock, yeah.
Oh, the animated bounty hunter guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's not Deadlock.
That's
he was in Age of Extinction as the main villain. What is his name?
Lockdown.
Oh,
thank you.
Lockdown. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the comic version more so of Lockdown. It looks like the IDW. I can't tell if it's more IDW or more their like samurai style of that Lockdown.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Prowl, and who's the blue and gold guy there? Oh, is that Prowl but in animated colors?
Yes, that was. Okay. I thought that was kind of a neat little throw in.
Yeah. There was a theory of mine the other day when I was looking at the new Legacy RC that maybe we'll get a repaint of her as animated Prowl.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
So another theory of her repainted as Nautica too.
I would love to get a good Nautica.
Yeah. That box set Nautica is so it's sort of just like, here's Blur with a different head and some wings.
Yeah, the samurai style stuff, I'm curious how that is going to turn out. Like, it's not something that I'm like a huge fan of, but I guess at least that way it's unique.
Yeah, it was interesting when they started doing that line. I don't collect that scale, but it's again something kind of different for you to pick up and probably helps them with any IP issues.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's the reason they did it that way. So it looks like that they have a samurai style Ratchet and Ironhide. And they have a couple.
Yeah, they're really making their way through a lot of the G1 characters.
Mm-hmm.
When they first showed that Grimlock, I thought they were switching to Kang toys, but there was no mention of what they're planning of their Dinobots. I think those are still in the drawing phase.
Yeah, I think what King Toys showed off another one of the limbs that's just about ready to come out. It looks like
The feet.
Okay.
We got better pictures, still uncolored though, of the feet.
Yeah, that looks
And
like
it's just
Outback
it's just
and
our
Beyond.
little own Statler and Waldorf tonight. Just our little heckler from the chat.
Right. It was like, could have been on there.
Always wonderful to have her here.
Right.
Oh, we couldn't remember one guy's name. Leave us alone, people.
Right. Oh, it looks like that they have more of the Starscream anime girl. Like they're doing all the Seekers like that, huh?
Yes, I might have to buy some Legends toys finally. Henshin Seekers. I'm in. Or Magic Girl Seekers? Yeah, Magic Girl Seekers.
I mean, that's the thing with that mold. Once you do one, easily do
Right.
10 more.
It's simple. It's cute. They're fun. They'll look cute on a desk. Assuming they do a good job at the faces.
And then looks like they're doing another combiner, huh?
Now this is really impressive because there is no good version of Leo Kaiser out there. Combiner Wars kind
Are we saying
of stuck
Combiner
up in
Wars
place.
did not fit that bill?
Hades is decent.
Yeah.
For its day.
Yeah. I feel like Hades is better in these individual bots. And the colors and size look impressive on a desk, but the proportions on it are quite
But it is. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just good to see another company taking a swing at somebody that's not Devastator, that's not Bruticus, and that isn't Menasor.
Well, I was really impressed. I mean, Iron Factory, they did the Bruticus like years ago, and they haven't really, I know they did the DJD combiner, but, they haven't really focused on that. But I actually thought that their combiner, their Bruticus, was really good.
I'm sure it's a fine figure. It's just, we get a lot of those guys.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Catherine. I'm glad to see that, another Leo Kaiser that's not a toy that's gotten a ton of different versions. And, I wish this was bigger scale because it looks cool. Yeah. I just don't collect that Legend scale.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I may make the exception for this one.
Well, but you're also collecting the Kang Toys combiner too, right? The Legend scale one.
Honestly, those things are almost deluxe class.
Yeah.
Or size wise. They scale pretty well with most deluxe figures. I like just a little shorter, but I'm fine with that. So I'm getting both sets.
All right, then we have Bingo Toys. It looks like that they have some of the Transformers movie figures from the
Bumblebee
movie.
first third party company to take a swing at the Bumblebee movie.
Haven't we had a couple? I thought somebody else has done a couple of those.
The Bumblebee.
So we've gotten that Shockwave is not new, but the Ratchet / Ironhide is.
For some reason, I thought that we had there was another company. Maybe I'm like completely forgetting who.
Haven't we gotten some like official statues and non-transforming Bumblebee movie toys?
We have. I just can't recall who did it, but I thought some other third party. Maybe it was just Bingo Toys that I'm just thinking of that Shockwave. But yeah, as Ron says, he thinks the Bingo Toys highlight was the Windblade.
Absolutely.
Or Wind Girl, I should say. But yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, Ron is right. That is an amazing looking figure. That was a big surprise. All this time, because we've seen the picture for a while now, but they never showed it transformed. I was starting to think at that quality, it was just another Windblade statue.
Yeah, and I don't know. Again, I think those are one of the ones where they didn't have a good picture to show off for the third-party slides. But I think that they shared it on social media afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think I saw the transform version of it online, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be nice to actually get a good Windblade figure. You know, again, like Nautica, there hasn't been a lot of those out there. So
I wonder if that would be a good retool for this mold. Because they made the wings a bit smaller, it looks like.
SXX was supposed to make a Nautica, but that was years ago, and then I think they went out of business. So
they teased it in their comic that came with their Rodimus, their IDW Rodimus Hot Flame.
Ron says the pics are in the TF Talk Discord, so if we want to see it, it's up there. So. And then Planet X, I think, so they have a repaint of their Grimlock that came out. So the
room blew up at that. People lost their damn minds with that Planet X G2. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that kind of surprises me. I mean,
like
it looks
niche.
nice, but it's
It's like a niche on a niche kind of thing. I mean, there was never a G2 Grimlock that looked like the IDW version, right? So again, it's cool. Like, it looks great, but
yeah, it looks exactly what you expect. It's the same toy but blue.
But yeah, I know that's one I still want to pick up. It looks really good.
You don't have the Planet X Grimlock? I thought you did.
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Not the new Planet X Grimlock. I should say, once upon a time, the one that is based on the like the original
Fall of Cybertron.
The Fall of Cybertron one,
Yeah.
I've had that one in the past, but I have not gotten the new one yet. So.
Did you pick this one up, Phil?
No. I had wanted it. Well, I shouldn't say I wanted it. I was on the fence about it, and then maybe it was Rob who got it.
I think Rob got it. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob got it.
Yeah. They've been happy with it. The head is the design of the head is not my favorite Grimlock design. So I've been very much on the fence, and the more I look at my shelves, the more it's like I am running out of real estate and then some. So a dude that big, if I'm not totally enamored with it, probably should pass.
I've heard the transformation is not that fun on it, but yeah, I still want to pick it up just because I think it looks really nice. And then they also showed off the Victory Leo.
Yeah. So just in time for the HasLab to be coming out, you'll get a new third party Leo Saber that you can build.
I sold my Star Saber to a friend because I got the HasLab one, and I'm torn because they both look good, but I think the Planet X one looks better now.
Well, here's the good news about that, Catherine. You probably know where your friend lives, so you can get it back.
No, I'm not gonna get it back from her.
So just steal it. Just breaking at night.
I feel like Planet X has done a pretty good job of re-releasing those. So.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna. They have to.
That's a no-brainer.
Oh, here. Apparently, Paul is finally back. So here, I'll invite him into the.
Should we just invite Anna too, since she's just
absolutely
out?
Well, I think that there was an open invitation there, so she can join whenever. I'm sure Paul would love the third-party panel here.
I love a third-party panel. You know it.
Oh, someone's got a fresh haircut and beard trim.
What?
You look freshly coiffed.
Yep.
A wild Paul has entered.
Hello.
Hello.
Old new friend. So what I miss? Did I miss everything?
Pretty much, yeah. We're just going over the end of the third-party panel now, so... Moon Studios, your favorite, Paul, right?
Oh, yeah.
Those things were $110 a piece for those train bots.
They're so good, though, for the price.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that is a great price.
Still going to hold out for Takara.
Oh.
So, I mean, yeah, I've had a lot of thoughts about those train bots. I just don't really know what to think. And now I've seen them together. And, like, it looks kind of cool, but it, like, doesn't quite look like... It looks like zombie Raiden, like Frankenstein Raiden. Like, he's, like, a big, brute sort of behemoth, which is not how I interpret Raiden. Maybe I'm just, like, I don't know. I always think he's kind of, like, sleek. He's, like, more of a nimble combiner, but maybe I'm out of my mind.
Well, because he was a different design for the combiners versus what else we got for G1. And I think because you had that six-part design, it wasn't Scramble City design. It looked like it kind of held together more. And yet this, I'm not saying the Moon Studios one looks more Scramble City, but because it has more articulation, it kind of has to be bigger to fit the articulation, which the original one didn't.
They kind of look like a generic bot you expect, or generic combiner you expect to be introduced just as a bad guy for Devastator to beat up. They look kind of plain. Though I love the little street lights on the hand.
That is a nice touch. I do. Yeah. I do like that, I must say.
I will go a little more negative and say it kind of reminds me of the knockoff Transformers you see at the bottom of the page on Amazon when you're buying an actual Transformer. It's like, would you be interested in this as well? It's like, no, I would not.
Well, I mean, it is a knockoff Transformer, Phil. So that's an accurate description.
Yes.
It does look like a cool robot, though. Like, I won't say it's bad. It just, like, I'm conflicted for sure. And it doesn't help that we don't really know what the Takara one will look like. And I'm hoping it's the opposite, because, like, this one looked almost perfect from the original renders and the gray models and stuff. And now that it's finished, it's like my impression's a little different. And what we've seen of the Takara combiner is not it's not great so far from what I've seen, but maybe it'll be the opposite. Maybe, like, when it's combined and we have good pictures, it will look better. But I don't know. I hate that we even have to compare them, because that's what bothers me the most, is that, these came out first and quickly because they have to get it out before the Takara one does, because that's the game.
Yeah. Hello, Anna.
Hi.
So what Paul is saying is like the Lyle Kaiser that, or just whatever it may be, that he would rather have a shitty Hasbro Takara version than a superior version where he has to actually make a choice between one or the other.
That's what Paul always says, though. He's a broken record.
Well, you're assuming the other one's shitty. I mean, we just don't know if this one's shitty because no one has it, except for the one dude that made animation.
Is Anna frozen for anyone else?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Annabot.
Nope.
Yeah.
Catherine,
Sorry,
what
Anna.
is behind you? What is that yellow thing?
Yellow?
Your
the giant
GFC
robot.
Prime.
Oh,
It's another third-party figure.
I figured, but is that like the G.I. Joe
No,
Vehicle one?
this is the Monkey King.
It's a repaint remold of what you're referring to, Paul.
Huh. That's pretty wild.
I absolutely love this figure. This is clever. And look at that head sculpt. That is beautiful.
Anna is unfrozen.
That's good.
I'm trying to think if there's any other slides that we want to go over. Oh, we missed out on the King toys.
Yeah, King toys and fans toys.
Oh, and then the fans toys, yeah, which is probably the most exciting part.
And MMC.
Yeah, you
What
never
else did
did talk
MMC
about
show?
Rarest.
Oh, Rarest.
Yeah,
we
well,
started
that was
Because
like the
Catherine
original.
tried to talk about it,
We're
and then you were like,
let's
wait.
hold off.
Last thing they showed.
Yeah, she was the very last thing. And they only
She's
had
like,
her
we'll
on
save
screen
the best for
like
last, and then it was like,
seconds.
oh, that is not the best.
Here, let me go back to the fans toys. So they had fans toys Blaster, which sure. The
I'm excited
proportion
for
looks
it.
Kind of, I don't know. The proportions looks a little weird. I actually think the what is it? KFC one. I feel like still holds up pretty well.
It does. It does. I don't know. I've got more fans toy stuff on my shelf. Every few months I'll get another fans toy. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm a big fan of Ramhorn and Steeljaw. To see those guys coming out is exciting for me.
More tiny tapes, please.
That's the more exciting thing for me. I feel like I'd want to see those.
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank here. Did Ramhorn ever speak in the cartoon, or was he always just growling?
I seem to
So I was
remember him
recently
having
watching-
a line.
I vaguely recall him having a line.
Yeah.
I was recently watching some of the Japanese stuff, like Headmasters, and he definitely speaks there.
Okay.
But I've never heard him speak in English.
Oh, he only knows Japanese. Okay.
I don't remember
Right. You may
Steeljaw
not
ever
know
speaking,
English.
but Ramhorn I thought had like one episode where he had a line or two.
But you'd think being a tape, he'd better have better audio programming.
Good
I mean,
one.
it was kind of consistent that the animal tapes didn't talk. I mean, Laserbeak and Ravage never did.
Yeah, sure,
Ravage,
they didn't.
Ravage spoke once in a while.
Yeah, I think
I shouldn't
overall
say
these
never
tapes
did,
look
yeah.
pretty good though.
Yeah.
I think the tapes look good. Yeah. I honestly think the Rewind and Eject actually look a little bit better than the MMC ones, which is really disturbing considering these are so much smaller.
I'm glad about that. I don't think the tapes look good in that large scale.
I like them in the large scale, so I'm disappointed that the Autobot ones don't look good so far. To me, it's all about taste, though,
Yeah.
And then let's see, we have Vectron Lat. So the Kang toys, I guess, showing those guys off. I mean, I think the Kang toys looks pretty cool. Like, even though it's not, it's not Predaking, but it is. It looks fun.
I'm glad we're getting that again, though. I kind of miss that from third-party toys, because third-party toys, like I said, I enjoy fans toys, but third-party toys started really going the KFC and fans toys route of being spitting image of something from G1, versus for a long time, third-party was giving us sort of updated designs. And so to get that from King Toys is fun to see.
It's
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I like when third party just does stuff. Like when they do weird stuff, like, Catherine's Monkey King behind her, and honestly, I really like Rarest as a concept, even though we don't like the new one as much. All that new stuff, the stuff that's original. They use the expertise they built on copyright infringement, and they make all new designs. So I think it's super cool.
Absolutely, yes. They're expensive, but I feel like I'm getting what I pay for there. They're good quality toys. They're sturdy. I mean, third party out of China has been getting really impressive like this past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
They have been.
Meanwhile, Paul's sitting up there just thinking, just burn it all down.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then X-Transbots showed off yet another Devastator. So there we go.
I was really impressed though with their addition of Scoop as a limb. Or an
that's
optional
fun.
limb.
I didn't notice that.
Wait, Scoop is also a limb beyond just being. I didn't pick up on that.
I just assumed, because why else would they show Devastator and then Scoop and nothing else?
Oh, okay. So it's an assumption so far, but that'd be so cool if it was true.
Yeah, because when I saw the pictures of Scoop, I didn't see any pictures of him as a limb.
Right, but why would you do Scoop by himself otherwise?
Because he's a
That's a
target
good point.
master.
Yeah.
He's a clearance target master that you can still get the Hasbro of for like $10.
You're not wrong.
It looks like it shares some parts from Scrapper, but not a lot. Maybe the shoulders and the feet. So it could be possible. I mean, that's neat. It's
hard to
they
say.
should do that.
It's different, and
fun.
we like different.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I mean, maybe that means they're going to make a prowl head, Like, I don't know.
Everybody's doing it, so they may as well.
What do you guys think of the addition of the ground base under the foot?
I mean, anything to help stability, sure.
I don't mind cheating in that sort of clever way to give you something that won't fall over.
Oh, that's what it's for. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it can be cool. It just depends on how it will end up.
Someone should try to make Devastator into a scramble combiner instead of the way it is. That would be neat. If you could make Scrapper an arm and like Scavenger the foot instead.
Well, considering that, how many third-party versions of Devastator have there been? At this point,
just one or two.
Unique.
I think there's some bots like Devastator that just the fan rage at that much change would be too much.
Yeah, I think a company like Hang Toys could do it.
That's true.
I've shared this, I think, before with the podcast, but this Spawn toy right here, Todd McFarlane in the 90s told his artists when designing new characters, give them a big boot, a big foot like this, so they would stand better as toys. So he went with the design even then, knowing that these would be toys that would have to stand up on a shelf. So yeah, that was not necessarily the case when designing the Devastator back in the day.
So Ron said that X-Transbots had more pics today of Scrapper, and it looks like it says he gets a horn and green caps for the wheels on the shoulder to make it more tune accurate. So
yeah, and not only that, but they're also teasing that they're going to do an orange and a yellow version of Scrapper. So they're not just doing Devastator; they're doing like, here you can get all three versions.
Well, they said one version was a UK release, one was a US release, and I didn't catch the third.
Interesting.
Rude.
I mean, I will say technically there really hasn't been a great animation accurate Devastator, so but I'm sure that we're gonna get 5 more third-party Devastators, from everyone anyway. So
Most definitely.
That's good. We're running out.
Right. Oh, no, it looks like there's a new Night Beat from X-Transbot, so that's exciting.
Yeah, that looked really good and makes me wish I didn't have my Fans Hobby version.
So many people are going to be selling that Fans Hobby one. That market's going to be
oversaturated, to say the least.
Yeah.
Does nobody
At
care
least
about
the Fans
the
Hobby
model
one was
bots?
kind of cheap.
Does no one care about the throttle bots?
I thought the one throttle bot looked good.
Oh, did I skip past it? I apologize.
No, I don't actually care about them either. It felt like the gratuitous mention.
Who did the throttle
The answer
bots?
is no one does.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. I'll go back here. I think throttle bots are cool. I mean, we haven't gotten an updated throttle bot in years. I think, who was it that did it? Was it
Toy World?
I think? Yeah.
I've got them on my floor over here. They're okay.
Wait. Do you actually have Toy World or do you have the oversized knockoffs?
Oh, come on, Lucas. You know the answer to that question. You don't have to ask it. Obviously, I have the official no. I have the knockoffs.
Yes, of course.
They're neat.
And then today,
They're
KFC
big.
showed off more pictures of their Cyclonus, which sounds like will be up for order or shipping in the next month or so. And it looks like he's going to come with like 36 heads.
Oh,
You said Cyclonus? I missed that.
Yeah, I
so
don't think they showed it off till today.
Oh, you know what they do in the like at TFW, the Windblade we were talking about earlier, they actually have the updated pics at the end. So yeah, this Windblade I think actually looks really good. I actually am tempted by it.
it looks neat. I think it's somewhat original too. Like, I don't think of it as just being a Windblade figure. I think of it as being a pretty reworked Windblade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And that's going to be an MP scale Windblade, right?
She looks big, yeah.
Sure. Why not? Oh, and so MMC, of course, showed off the, retool of Rarest, which, Anna and I were having this conversation before about like, oh, what are they going to retool that Rarest into? And here we go. This is what it is.
Yeah, and like I was really pushing, oh, it's gonna be Megatron. They're gonna do Megatron. And I was totally right, except I was expecting gray tank Megatron. Because I was expecting them to do another one of their big popular molds. Their Megatron was popular. People like it. They had to reproduce it because it was popular enough to reprint it. So I just thought it was logical that they would do regular gray tanky Megatron. And then out of left freaking field comes freaking Beetlehead. And I don't know how this happened. I don't know who on the design team decided that they would go this direction instead of any other direction.
It's an unusual choice, to be sure. Are we going? Is it that time to start appealing to the Armada fans?
It's past
Serge
time.
and Christian are Armada fans, and they're in their late 20s and 30s.
I thought that would wait till they were closer to their 40s before that would start hitting. So maybe like 5 years.
But I don't know that Armada fans are like clamoring for a version that's not actually represented anywhere. I mean that's the thing that's a little different with this Rarest is that there's no fiction behind any of these characters. So.
Okay, that's kind of a weak argument at this point because what fiction do we get for most of our Hasbro stuff anymore?
Yeah, but I mean they still
You're not
have
wrong.
the fun stuff but yeah, I agree.
I mean, I know there
a few weeks ago,
was that full
everything is
TV
G1.
series run for the fossilizers, but
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with the Armada, the Unicron trilogy stuff is that the fiction matched the toys like to a T.
Yeah.
Armada was the least close because it was animated, but the rest of it was all like CG. So like, they're not chasing a dragon that they never had. They didn't have a. They didn't see G1 Ironhide and get a toy that looked like a frog instead and be like, I never really got it. They actually got the Optimus Prime that was on screen that transformed. They actually got the Megatron. They actually got all the characters. They got all the minicons. So like they're satisfied. They're not chasing a 40-year-old itch like the rest of us. So I don't think it'll ever be quite the same as the G1, nostalgia.
No, but Surge is excited for the fans' hobby, Armada Prime and Armada Megatron.
Well, he was until he got it.
Well, yeah, and it fell apart on him, but he has been impressed with fans' hobbies QC of replacing those parts.
Didn't it break again once he got the replacement? If I remember correctly.
Replacement.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I think it broke twice, and they've sent out like 2 replacements, which is better than other companies.
I mean,
that's a bummer.
If it breaks and they give you another piece of brakes, I mean that's kind of like, okay, you fooled me once, fooled me twice, shame on me. Whatever.
But
you know me.
Like, I feel like my argument as far as for the Rarest, Armadan or whatever they're calling it, that I think it's going after the same people that bought the original Rarest, not necessarily that, it's going to pull in a completely different market is what I'm saying.
And I was almost certain I would buy whatever else they dressed Rarest up as. Like, I seriously thought I was just going to try to get all the Rarests, but they are really trying my limitations here.
Well, what is your...
They will have to post some heavy pictures of that in different poses, looking better, before I get it.
Reservation, you just don't think it looks good, or what?
I don't think it looks good. No, I don't think that looks good at all. That actually looks kind of terrible. And it's not like I kind of want a fancy version of Armada Megatron. Like, he is a unique design. He's interesting. And I do have the, the whatever Hasbro one came out ever how many years ago off the Megatron from some old line, Titans Returns or whatever. I do have that one. I think it looks cool. It's better than the original. I really do like the design, but I think the way they spliced that design onto the existing Rarest figure looks ridiculous. It just does not look good.
Yeah, I would have liked to see like a G2 Megatron. Would have been fun.
That'd be fine too.
I agree with what Anna said.
Part of it's the hip cannons. And the hip cannons, I think, will be optional. I do think you'll be able to just pop them up on her back, like you can in the Coulter version.
Or her arms.
Yeah, I think you can just... Well, I think those are the parts that are the backpack on Purple Rarest. This is a very minor remold if you look at it too closely.
Anna, I'm proud of you for hating this.
I'm not going to just universally like everything that's an original woman character.
Well, no,
of them.
You don't just like stuff. You have taste.
I do.
It's just very, very nuanced, and you have to really pay attention to understand it.
I will say, though, if MMC is losing Anna, that's a problem.
I am very loyal
they went
to
too
MMC,
far.
it's true.
They flew too close to the sun with this one.
They made it look bad. That's all they did.
It's
but
weird.
Like I said,
it's very strange to agree with both Anna and Paul on the same third-party figure.
Yeah, most of the time Paul and I disagree, but I think it's like more of a show than reality.
That being said, I do enjoy the color scheme.
Sure. And I think you could have given her that color scheme as G2 Megatron, or even as this. I think you could have done it better, but just the way it came out looks... Ugh.
If they gave you a different head, how would you feel about that? An optional second head?
Better.
Okay.
The face is a problem. Yeah.
The thing that kind of annoys me about both of these is that there's still quite a few IDW female characters that I would really love to get a good representation of. And not to say that this is stealing a spot away from that, but like I don't know. I wish that they would do some of those ones again, like we had mentioned Nautica before, or Flame Wars, some various ones like that I was like, I just wish like I would buy those before I would buy this.
Aileron.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would too.
Yeah. But I feel like this is MMC's MO of they do a lot of remolds for their toys. They try to get uses out of the mold, and so this is kudos to them for coming up with a new character of Eris, giving fans both something new as well as attachment to something old, and this is their attempt to do that again with this remold. And not all their remolds have worked. A lot of their remolds, in my opinion, have missed the mark, and this one seems like it's one of those.
That's very true. That's very true.
Definite points for creativity, though. It's original for sure.
Yeah.
So, and then speaking of another figure that I'm not sure anyone asked for, but Paul, I don't know what you think about this. There is another third-party company that's making another Starscream that's non-transforming that I don't believe is actually is it based on the Bumblebee movie, I guess? I don't know.
Dude, I don't know what this is. It's not. I'm not getting this. That's for sure.
Wow. Well, they've lost Paul on Starscream. That's rough.
Damn.
No, it's Red Comet, isn't it?
I'm sorry, Red Comet.
It's not Starscream.
Oh, the model kit. Yeah, the new model kit.
Is that a
Sorry,
model
I'm
kit?
also on the delay.
And the fact that it doesn't even transform is like, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's when the pictures of that first got put out, people were asking if, is it supposed to be, a knockoff of the Flame Toys kit? Is it supposed to be what? What is it? My mindset is I think that's a combination of the Flame Toys kit and the design from the Bumblebee movie. Like, I think they kind of tried to take inspiration from how the Flame Toys kit worked and then made it to the Bumblebee movie look, which is interesting. I don't know if it's exactly good, but it's interesting.
Yes.
The funny part is they don't even have a Blitzwing, if that's what they did.
Right.
It's funny how we were talking earlier about we like it when third-party companies do something new. Unfortunately, sometimes when you do something new, you miss the mark.
It's not new enough. It's like, it's new, but it's also
new.
not. It's
This
just
isn't
the
new.
Three Seekers again, but they look odd. For some
Colors
reason,
are- colors are awful.
For some reason, I can't explain exactly why, but when I look at them, I see a basketball team, and I just don't get it. But for some reason, it's Seeker's basketball team.
I kind of like the
Yep.
Skywarp. I'm not going to get it, but
I
I
just
like
don't
the
think
colors.
I don't think any of them look very good. And again, I'm sure that you can paint it and make it how you want, but
Absolutely.
it just does not look good to me at all. Like to me, I feel like most of the Flame Toys kits look pretty good, like even unpainted. This does not look as good to me. I don't know.
Cassetticon Toon summed it up pretty well. It's another pelvic thrust model kit.
It is another pelvic thrust model kit. It's true.
So
I
this
mean,
is
the
313
design is neat.
millimeters. What is that?
Oh, those are big. I forgot to say, those are almost 12 inches tall.
Oh,
Okay, I was gonna
jeez.
say thank you.
They're
for converting
huge.
to American units.
I just remembered from when I looked them up. Don't worry, I can't convert crap.
Freedom units.
Right.
Yeah, not getting this shit. No way. Nice try, bros.
No, see,
I think they're interesting.
my Seekers, I'm still waiting on the Moss toys, so I'm good. I've got my I've got my order in for that, guys. It's only been a few years here, so I'm still
Any day now.
hoping they come out any day.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So I wasn't there. Catherine, were you at this panel? Were you like there live?
For the third party panel, yes.
Yeah. So like looking at the slides, they showed the Armada Eris thing, and then it's like, "Thank you, Burbank, we love you." Did they suddenly go like, "Oh, and then there's more, and they show these stupid ass seekers as like the cherry on top, or what? Like, what was the vibe?
It closed with Eris, and she was only on screen for maybe 30 seconds, minute tops. They sped through all those slides
because they got scared. They felt the Eris love not be there.
Well, what was there was the reaction? Like, that's what I love about these sort of panels is like sometimes you can tell like people are freaking out when they see something. But what was the biggest response?
Yeah, it sank like a stone.
I feel like all the fans' toys usually are pretty popular. I don't know if it was that way in LA, but usually everyone's like hyping that, the fans' toys out.
Yeah, those are the ones that get the cheers.
Does MMC usually like take this kind of feedback and produce reasonable changes?
There's an example. I can't remember what it is. Was it Chrome Dome? Did he get changed heavily?
Optimus's head.
It was Optimus. Okay.
Yeah, Orion Pax's head got some resculpting done.
So it is entirely possible that they might take some of the feedback and do something with it. Like, I wouldn't say that it's impossible. I would say it's improbable.
I think that they've shown off figures before that they've shelved like later on just because that the reaction was not as good as what they had hoped on some of them. But I feel like that for the most part, most of the figures they've shown off have been released in one way or another. Sometimes it might be like a convention exclusive instead of a regular release or
50
whatever.
years later.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd scrap it entirely. I don't think they're going to scrap it entirely. I could see them adding optional parts. Like, if people really complain about the head, they might add a optional head. Like, I'm surprised, and who knows, this could be a feature that they show later when they show more pictures, but I'm surprised the helmet doesn't come off, considering Tarn's mask was removable on the original Rarest. It's like she's a Tarn impersonator, but she doesn't have to wear the mask. So it would be nice if she didn't have to wear the beetle helmet. It just doesn't look good in that form.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah, I don't know. Was there anything we missed with our wrap up here? I don't know, Phil, was there anything from the show that you saw from social media pics and whatnot, posts?
I don't think so. I think that's everything. I mean, Fans Hobby showed off their Energon Prime. So to Paul's point, there was an Energon Prime that came out that looked exactly like it did in the show, but even how he did in the show, he looked like a fat chunky dude that should be played by Kevin James in a live action movie. So the Fans Hobby version looks a lot more streamlined and slimmer. I'm excited for that release.
Me too, actually. That looks really cool. I'm not going to get it, but I do want to see it.
Yeah, I'm curious, with the problems they had QC-wise with Armada Prime, I kind of want to wait for it to come out before I get it to see if there are issues. But my really big hope with that is that they do Wingblade to go along with that, because that's one of my favorite combinations of the Armada trilogy. The Wingblade Optimus Prime is one of my favorite toys from that.
Yeah, I don't know. Catherine, was there anything else from the show that we didn't cover?
Unless you want some more commentary from the War for Cybertron panel, which I know you guys were huge fans of.
I mean, did anyone
the War for Cybertron
critical
game or
no the Netflix trilogy?
Oh, oh yeah. So
DeSanto was there.
Did they talk about the next upcoming Netflix project that DeSanto's going to work on, or?
No, but we did get tasty little bits about how the sausage is made, so to speak. And we did find out that there was pitched for a season 4, 5, and 6 that would have went to Legacy.
Hmm.
But Netflix is like no mas, or
Hasbro was no mas.
oh, Hasbro's no mas.
Yeah. There was definite love from genuine fan love made into that. It was a very good panel. They were all wonderful. I mean, definitely everybody on that stage was a true fan.
Was there any critical questions that were asked from the audience, or were there no audience questions?
There were plenty of audience questions. I think the most notable question for me was from me, and yes, the kiss with Air Razor and Black Arachnia was intentional. They thought they would have to fight Hasbro for it and were ready to, and Hasbro said, no, that's fine. No battle at all.
They kissed? I don't even remember that.
Yes. Oh yeah, the ending of season 3 of Kingdom. When they're everything's coming apart, and Air Razor catches Black Arachnia as she's falling, and Black Arachnia gives Air Razor a kiss.
Yeah, I recall that.
You just had to be watching for it.
It called out to some fans more than others.
Yes.
Did DeSanto go on any long diatribes?
I'm bad with names. Which one is DeSanto?
He's like the
Showrunner.
director, the one in charge of everything with the beard.
Oh, old
He
guy
usually
with
wears
beard.
a kind of douchey scarf.
Yeah, he talks a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. In fact, the actress of Air Razor only got to say like one thing at the very end. There were so many people on that panel. Apparently, it was the first time they were all together. What was that, Anna?
I said that's about how many lines Air Razor had in the show. Not many.
So,
one.
Yeah, you said that was the only time that cast has actually been together in a room?
Yeah. That was the first time for them.
Cool.
That's fun. It's fun that they're able to get them all together.
Yeah. They definitely enjoyed each other's company. There was good chemistry on that stage. The audience seemed to enjoy it a lot. Everybody kind of rushed at the end and wanted to talk to everybody, their favorite voice actors. And in fact, the actress of Air Razor, our voice actress, wanted a picture of us with her. Like, she's like, oh, we take a picture with you guys? And so we're pulling out our phones, and she hands her phone to someone else to take it. We're like, oh, what's going on? Oh, that's weird.
She's excited to have fans. Yeah.
I got fans, everybody. Look. Yeah.
You made her happy. That's always great.
Yeah, I mean, those are non-union voice actors. They don't, they're probably not used to being at a convention panel.
Right. As opposed to some of the G1 guys that have been doing, these types of things for years.
Yeah, 20, 25 years for some of those dudes. 300.
They've been 250 years. It's not that long.
4 million years.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and thanks for those of you that joined a little bit late, Paul and Anna. So I would have had you on earlier, Anna, had I known that you were trying to join.
I was trying because I wanted to talk about the Half the Battle toys. I was really excited about those.
Well, what did you want to say? I don't think you.
The little tiny ones.
Yeah.
They're so cool. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get one.
Yeah.
They're actually very expensive though, so that's a holdback for me. They're fresh 3D printed pieces, so they're going to be pricey. But I get really excited about little things that I get to paint, and they come in just, plain plastic colors, and you have to paint in the details. So I'm really pumped to play with those. And they're like tiny ball jointed action figures, they're somewhere between Dr. Wu, their little guys, and the actual slug figures.
Do you have to put the figures together? Do they come off the sprues? And
they come off the sprues, but they come in little like claw, or not claw machine, but like the quarter machines. You know, you turn the crank, they come in the little capsules, unassembled. So yeah, you
See,
get to
I
put
would
them
worry
together.
about some of that being 3D printed, like putting that stuff together. I don't know. I've just had bad luck where I've broken off the various pieces. So, but,
I love all my 3D printed stuff. I have full figures that are 3D printed and dolls that are 3D printed, and I love them. So I'm
right.
excited
I'm just
for
saying
these. I
I've
think it's
broken
cool.
the plastic. It depends on the quality of the plastic. So hopefully they have high quality plastic that does not break. I don't know.
I busted the hell out of my Ultra Magnus add-ons. I got his leg extenders through the 3D print, and I destroyed those things so bad. They were not good quality, but everything else I've gotten has been good quality. I'm just excited for these because they're different. You know how I am. I like to have the oddities in the collection, so these are definitely another weird little oddity thrown in.
Another thing to make your collection just a little more unique.
Yeah.
Yes,
see,
I missed getting a. I was just gonna say I missed getting a comment on the Iron Factory Seeker girls, which I'm super excited for.
Those look
neat
good
too. Yeah.
See, I'll buy that maybe.
They'll really be good though. You know, Iron Factory's consistent.
Yep. Yeah, the
So,
half the battle
did-
toys. I was gonna say like I'd probably be more likely to get those like if they were actually painted up. Like I feel like the pressure paint and all that, and the fact that they're unassembled and unpainted and whatnot. It's just I don't know, just not my style. But
I get that. I think I like my project toys. I like model kits and stuff. So excited for that Windblade model kit that I'm never getting.
So was this a third party only discussion tonight?
No.
it dominated
I mean,
a fair
we're-
amount of it, Paul. So none of us attended any of the panels. So other than the War for Cybertron, the one that we just talked about, but so kind
Well,
of.
did anyone talk about the new reveal for buzzworthy bumble balls?
Oh, Silver Streak?
Yeah.
Bloover
Who would have
streak.
thought that was coming?
Silver
I
Streak.
had no idea that.
I didn't
we got
find out
like
about
a
that.
year ago.
Well, I know it really is Silver Streak, and it hurts me. It hurts. Like, why? I know it's like they just are like, hey, remember all that Rumble is blue, Frenzy is red shit that made all these old dudes mad? Let's just make it again. Let's do it again. Let's keep the fun rolling.
So now we'll have a blue Silver Streak and a silver blue streak.
Silver blue streak.
I like it.
Well, we've always had the silver blue streak, but that like it was fine. We could just like put that in the corner. But now we have to have a blue silver streak.
I love it. I want it.
Fucking
Yeah, I almost want to unbox
obnoxious.
because it piss people off.
Yeah, it hurts.
Hey, at
It
least you
hurts
don't
my
have to
soul.
get like 20 NFTs in order to exchange for the figure, so could be worse.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, those NFTs go up tomorrow, 15 hours from now.
What NFTs?
The Funko
Funko
ones.
is
Funko
doing
Pop.
some stupid. Yeah.
For those of us that don't follow Funko, please enlighten.
Okay.
Funko is doing like packs of NFTs that you can buy, and extremely limited ones you can exchange for actual physical Transformers Funko Pops.
It's digital
Nice.
blind bags. It
Yes.
sucks.
Yes.
But it's not just
Worse.
Transformers. They have other. So like when you're buying these, it's like lumped in with like other figures, right? Like so the
No, I
NFT
think-
is not just Transformers, as I believe.
I think it is just Transformers. Like this is Funko's first NFT bullshit, and they decided to do it with our favorite brand, the Transformers. It's so great. They're transforming their brand.
Yeah, it's really
Into
nice.
something we hate.
Will it be an NFT for the Starscream Funko Pop?
I don't believe so, but like Hot Rod and Devastator and I don't know, a few other.
Gold
But
Optimus.
the issue is you have to buy like a bunch of NFTs, and then exchange all of those for, like, I don't know, there's a certain number of ones that, like, you have to get a certain number in order to exchange for the actual pop itself, right?
And the NFTs are so dumb. They're just little animated Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't even toys yet.
Is this reduced down to reasonable prices, or is this like crazy prices?
Oh, they're going to be bonker balls. Like some of these are probably, like Gold Optimus might be worth like $1,000.
Right. Great.
So then, awesome. Lucas, if you just buy one pack and you strike gold and find that Gold Optimus in that one pack, you can't just exchange that one card. You have to buy multiples to be able. You have to get so many packs to be able to exchange the one card for a actual physical pop.
I thought that's what it was. I thought that you had to get like a complete set or something to get the pop.
I think you can. Okay, I think it's like this: you can complete a set and then you can exchange that for a specific toy, or you can get like a golden ticket for a specific toy, like a one-up. Okay. And I don't know, because I don't understand this shit very well.
Is there an element to this?
What?
Is there a
gambling element to it?
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Just like any blind bag thing.
So you had to buy.
Sorry, I only laughed because it's all gambling.
But
it's like the gambling bullshit.
So I was gonna say, there's certain people that we may or may not know who try to collect all the Transformers, and those people are a little bit angry at the prospect of having to buy thousands of dollars in, digital NFTs in order to exchange for these certain figures. So
things that aren't even fun. Most of the time, this whole like Transformers buying obsession, at least you get a lot of fun crap. But buying a bunch of NFTs is not fun.
Nor is the actual product you get, the Funko Pop.
No, it's not at all. I mean, the funny thing is the NFTs are literally just something you can look at. You can just look at a picture of this toy, and it's the same thing, as having it. You might as well not even bother. Like, I just don't get it.
I really hope that NFTs just, like, die here in a couple of years, because it's just, I don't understand it.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see what happens with those.
I don't think they're going to go anywhere, but I think they will change considerably.
I really hope Hasbro doesn't do for Transformers what they did with the Power Rangers NFT thing, because I picked up that from PulseCon, and that was, I got my butt saved by one of my friends of him reminding me that I needed to exchange that NFT within a certain amount of time to be able to get the physical toy, because you had like 3 or 4 steps you had to do to get the NFT, then exchange the NFT for what will eventually be the physical toy sometime 6 months from now. And if you miss those deadlines, you're SOL.
Well, see, that part's really dumb. Like if you bought the thing, you should have the thing. It shouldn't be a timeline, a time limit on this. That's a mistake. So it was a weird way to do it for sure.
I agree with that much. Yeah.
And it was not cheap.
I'm going to ask one more con-related question, though.
Sure.
I know you were looking, Catherine. Did you find any early release stuff? Any early release Hasbro stuff like Legacy?
No, I was surprised because on the first pass, that's the kind of what that's on the list of things I look for. Like the stuff that's going to be gone in right away.
Right.
And there was nothing with Legacy branding that we didn't already know about, or that isn't already out. Rather, there's plenty of Black Xerix, but there were no bulkheads, no Ars Prime RCs, none of the new stuff.
Because the right people weren't there.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. We kept looking out for them, but they didn't want to come.
Were there any vendors that you recognized? Or, I mean, obviously the big ones like TF Source and Chosen Prime, but any of the smaller vendors that you'd seen at other conventions?
A couple of them recognized me. So... In fact, one of them I started talking to, and apparently he also knew Anna. So,
oh, there you go.
A Kansas-based one, though. So,
oh, okay. I was nervous there for a second people starting to write down my name. Come and get me later. I don't know what they'll do.
I feel like there was a completely different pool of vendors in LA versus like the East Coast, just from like stuff I saw on Facebook of people like, I'm going to be at this table selling my stuff. I was like, oh my God, look at all this stuff. Like from just individuals, you know, that were getting tables that I'd never, like West Coast Transformers, for instance, or something like that.
Yeah, definitely some new guys. And, you know, but there a lot of your old staples too. Like as soon as you walk into the left, there's definitely that G1 parts dude there.
There's always the G1 parts dude.
I thought you were going to say like
guy.
the Chosen Bribe or one of the stores, but it's G1 parts dude instead. Our
There's
good
always
friend.
room for Jello.
Parts dude.
Doesn't matter which convention, the Transformers convention you go to, you always get the one dude that's there with like this drag his wife along to help him like sell stuff and set up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not always the same couple, but there is always like some husband and wife couple that the wife typically looks like, dear God, please make money this weekend.
It's always some poor wife's first and last time.
Yes.
And the booth usually looks like a flea market.
And they just go
Which
right
booths
from the
don't?
convention hall to the divorce attorney's office.
Oh
That would be a great booth.
There were a lot of Unicrons there of different types. I think I only saw maybe 2 or 3 Hasbro ones, but a lot of the other Unicrons were all over the place.
Zetas.
Well, that's because the stock came in.
Yeah.
And I had to ask what they were because their packaging.
So weird.
Their packaging is really weird. One was just Halloween themed, and it didn't show anything Transformers. I'm like, oh, what Halloween toys he is selling? And then another
they named it
Christmas,
pumpkin.
Yeah, and then the Christmas version of the same thing. Like, how am I supposed to know that's Unicron?
You got to know, man. You just got to
That's
know.
how studios sell package their thing.
Why
It's
did they do that?
bizarre.
So what were the Unicrons priced at?
Oh, I didn't even check.
Oh, come on. You got to check.
I have one. What do I need to look?
See what it's worth.
No, him and Rung are hanging out. I'm covered.
So by the way, what comics are you guys doing on book club this weekend? Do you know?
Revolutionaries 3 and 4.
Whatever Zaldron tells us.
There you go.
When you run out of comics, can you do the NFTs?
We will read NFTs together and our lives will become worthless.
You know,
We'll have reached rock bottom.
I'm a little annoyed that I don't think Lost Light is ever going to actually get a hardcover, and I could be wrong about that, but it doesn't look that way, and that frustrates me.
They're mixed in with the other hardcovers.
Well, More Than Meets the Eye was, and they finished that, but I don't think Lost Light is included. Like they have the soft cover ones. But
They've started they have started phase 3 with the hardcovers. I have the first
phase
one
3
already.
isn't that the new comics though? Not Lost Light? Didn't they skip over Lost Light or?
Nope. No, it's continuing the same IDW run.
Oh.
There is a separate set of hardcovers for the new stuff.
That's true.
It's fun to walk into your comic book store, buy 2 books, and leave having spent $120.
Yep. So.
What was the rarest thing on the sales floor? If you have an eye for that sort of stuff.
I was looking for you. I saw nothing Starscream. Only the 2 rarest things I saw was a $2,500 clear sealed in package. I'm assuming Takara G1 Optimus.
Could also be a KO. Very
It looked like
overpriced.
it looked like the reissue from the early 2000s.
Book style.
Yeah, and
Style one. Yeah, that's like I've seen those floating around. Those are like either gifts from employees or those are what we call lunchtime specials.
the other one was an old BotCon set still sealed in the bag.
Which set?
I was gonna say depends on which
Megatron and
one.
Waspinator.
I want to say 2006.
That would be that. Yeah, it was probably purple Megatron and the little Waspinator jet.
I couldn't see. They were all there was a lot of plastic and baggage in the way. I couldn't actually tell who was in it. But no star screams and nothing else caught my eye as the over a grand mark beyond Unicron.
That's a shame.
You found that Minerva figure that's rare.
That's true. There was one Minerva there for 210, and there are a lot of things there were only like one or two of on the floor. There weren't too many things that were just saturating everywhere outside of Hasbro stuff.
Yeah, things that are rare but not super expensive.
Right, like oddball things too. Like this was the only one of them in the whole floor, in the whole room. There was only one of this Beast Box parrot for some reason. Just a lot of one-offs. I think maybe people were bringing like leftover stock from other places.
We did a treasure hunt.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight, and thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Zaldron and Ron and Cassettatune. And what else am I missing? Anyone? Far Strider Prime. I think there's a couple newer names on here. There's somebody else I thought that I missed earlier. Oh, Josh earlier.
I think you're just not used to reading off the names and not including mine.
Right. Well, and then you were in the chat
Very
as well.
confused.
So. But yeah, so thank you guys. And then we should have a Microcasters, I believe, this week that I think it'll be another round robin again. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I'm about to talk about something real old. It's going to be awesome.
There you go. So,
I'm not going to talk about what I've been playing with all night.
And what have you been playing with all night?
A half transformed Starscream. It's more than half. We're
Which
like
Starscream is that?
80%.
No,
It's a great
Paul
one.
answer. I want to hear Paul answer it.
It looks like that shitty one.
That's right. It's the shitty one. Yep.
The shitty one. There you go. All right, shitty Starscream. All right.
Yeah, Catherine, thanks for being our eyes in LA this weekend.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
On the sea.
All right, well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.